Karen demands I move to cars impounded by the police and meets Mr. Sparky. This story is from roughly 2013. I was an adjuster for Lizard Insurance and would go to many tow lots after car accidents and decide if a car was a total loss or send it to a body shop, as well as do the initial write-up of an estimate on repair costs. The tow lot I was at this day also worked with the state police and housed their overflow storage for anything deemed evidence and on hold from release. These vehicles were kept behind a locked gate inside the already fenced gated tow yard. I was there to do an appraisal on two vehicles that had been involved in a minor accident. However, both were left unable to drive from the scene due to either multiple flats, lights knocked out, or windows busted. I've finished the first vehicle and I've started taking photos of the second vehicle. I have headphones in and I'm listening to the album Cavalcade by the Flatliners. Seriously, check them out. Any hoot, I see a woman I'd guess around 50 walk up to the police evidence lot and the gate swing open out of the corner of my eye. Not paying much attention, as the vehicles I was working with were on the same side of the lot, but about 50 meters down from the evidence lot. And my back is turned to this woman I will hear and refer to as Karen. I take the last couple of photos I need. The last being a photograph of the VIN of the vehicle, which is located where the windshield meets the hood almost on the dash through the windscreen. Hope this makes sense. Karen out of literally nowhere grabs both cables to my headphones from behind and rips them out of my ears. Karen, excuse me. Why are there two cars in front of mine so I cannot get it out? This lot would stack cars in 4 or 5 deep side by side and move them around with a small truck to release them. Really, please don't touch me, and I don't think you should be in there, and I don't war. Karen, you shouldn't be listening to music on the job anyway or slacking off taking pictures of other people's belongings. You're probably back here stealing. I attempt to point at the Lizard Insurance logo on my blue jacket, but Karen continues on. Karen, are you going to do your job, or do I need to call the police because you are refusing to give me my property? Me of you went into the office at ABC Towing. Karen, no, I saw you here. You need to move these cars so I can get mine and leave. As Karen opens the door and gets into the first car in the ones blocking her. Hey, no, you can't go in there. That is police evidence. I use my cell phone to call ABC Towing and inform them. Karen, if you won't move these cars, then I will. Where are the fucking keys? The office with the employees. At this time, the manager comes running out with one of those weird smartphone Nextel-style phones in his hand. I'm ABC manager. Hey lady, get the hell out of there. Those cars are property of the state police. And frantically uses his Nextel to talk to someone. And sees the chain used to keep the lot closed has been cut with bolt cutters. Karen was carrying a pair of bolt cutters and had thrown them into her car when she was back at it. I and Karen argue back and forth. I intently listen and half pay attention as I finish my duties for work. About 8 to 10 minutes pass, and 7 police cars come flying back into the lot. And greets the police and explains what is going on, but not after Karen attempts to scream at the police that I had stolen her car. Key police tell Karen to stand over in a direction he points, sending one officer to wait with her. Turns out the lieutenant was on scene who was in charge of the county's police tow licenses. After getting M's story, LT comes to me and takes mine. While I'm informing him of what happens, Karen overhears and starts yelling and attempting to approach me. The officer standing would have grabbed her by her arm. Karen yanked the arm out of the female officer's hand and shoved her, surprisingly knocking the officer down. Karen is screaming incoherently as she charges toward me. The LT steps in front of me and with his taser hits Karen with the most beautiful sound in the world. Karen goes limp and face plants in the dirt-like gravel of the lot and skids slightly. They immediately handcuff her. Turns out Karen had walked onto the lot carrying the bolt cutters while I was in the office talking with staff about the 2 cars I needed to adjust. She had been roaming the lot until she saw me. I happened to be near her car. Karen was charged with burglary, 2 counts of tampering with evidence, assault on a police officer, assault on me, trespassing and resisting arrest. I know Karen did jail time, but I'm not sure how much. Years later, the tow company I now own impounded a car for being double-parked. She remembered who I was and quietly paid. Edit, YouTuber Dark Fluff has featured this story.
I know it's your number, but another post on here reminded me of this one. Quite some time ago, my girlfriend and I, now my wife of more than 15 years, moved in together and had to set up all the things, cable, internet, phone, etc. We got our home phone number out to cell phones, and we were off to the races. Almost immediately, we start getting calls for an establishment that does custom framing and various other art-related things. Let's call them Expo for Art. Of course, we had caller ID and we had friends that would call us, but inevitably if we didn't recognize the number, it was someone wanting to find out if their order was complete, or their frame was done, or what their hours were, or any of 1,000 other questions. I'm sure anyone else who had this happen will recognize this exchange. Sorry, that's no longer their number, this is a residence. Yes, I'm sure. No, I'm not giving you my address. No, I don't know their new number. Yes, I have a phone book, but so do you. Eventually, after 1,000 of these, and changing the message on our answering machine to say, "This is not, I repeat, not Expo for Art. If you are trying to reach Expo for Art, please hang up, look up their number and try that, because we aren't them." Eventually, I got my gazillionth call, and I asked the person on the other end of the line where they keep getting this number. Well, it's printed on my receipt. I guess I'll just call this other number. Any chance you can give me that one, thanks. I'll call it. Hello, Expo for Art. You guys are still giving out my home phone number on your receipts. Yes, so... Well, fucking stop it. It's been at least a year since you haven't had that number. At least cross it out or something. That's a pain in the ass. I'm not making my employees do that. So to the manager. I'm the owner. So let me see if I have this right. What was your name again? Let's call him Fred. You, Fred, have decided that it's too inconvenient to cross my home phone number off of your receipts, so you're just going to keep giving it out. Up, what are you gonna do, sue me? Maybe. Whatever, I've got shit to do, bye. I called a lawyer, didn't really have a leg to stand on. I went to the store and asked for Fred. Fred's not here. He's hardly ever here, really. You want me to call him? No, I'm fine. I know this is going to sound odd, but is there any chance I can see one of your receipts? He picks up a receipt book and shows it to me. Sure enough, it's got my phone number at the top of another one. I say, I thought so. I couldn't get you at the other number. Some guy yelled at me and I didn't have my old receipt, so I had to come down here. We've been having that happen a lot, ever since Fred decided we didn't need two phone lines. But he had just bought like 20 boxes of these receipt books and business cards, and he's too cheap to buy more until they run out. I'd hate to be that guy. Yeah, that's gotta suck. So I went home and hatched my evil plan. Next phone number I didn't recognize. Hello, Expo for Art. Hi, this is Mary Smith. I dropped off a thing last week to be framed. Is it ready? Let me check. Yup, we finished it this morning. I hope you don't mind, but we decided to upgrade the matting because of the weight of the piece. It's the same color, and won't be charging you for it since it was my decision. Thank you. I'll be down to pick it up later today. What time do you close? I looked down at the business card with my number and the hours clearly marked 11 to 4. Take your time. We'll be here until 7. Thank you so much. Can you tell me how much that was? $19.99, ma'am. Plus tax, so $21.39. Well, that's cheap. Are you sure? Of course. If anyone has a problem, tell them you talked to Fred. Okay, see you around 6. See you then. Thank you for calling Expo for Art. For weeks I kept giving out completely random information. How much is a 36 by 48 matted frame? Let's say $24.99. Well, that's cheap. How much to have done custom? How they want it. Custom is an extra $10, so $34.99. Well, that's cheap. I'll be right down. What was your name? Of Fred. See you in 10, Fred. How much to have the entire front page of the New York Times from 9/11 mounted and framed? $33.99. Unless you want our special proprietary newspaper frame and mat service, only $49.99 and guaranteed for life. Only at Expo for Art. Tell them Fred sent you. I can only imagine the number of pissed off people who showed up to pick up orders that weren't ready, and when they finally were given a price way higher than what Fred had told them over the phone. Eventually, someone had slipped that they called the number on the receipt, and that's what Fred had told them. Fred was not happy. Hello, thank you calling Expo for Art. This is Fred. You're not Fred, I'm Fred. Are you trying to put me out of business? Why, Fred, whatever do you mean? Someone has been giving prices to my customers and telling them their orders are in when they're not due for weeks. Well, Fred, who called them? Nobody called them. They called us. Then what's the problem? Someone called you and got pricing information. That would seem to be your problem. They didn't call me. They called you. Well, how would that happen? Your number is on my receipts and business cards. Well, it seems to me there is a very simple solution here. Take my number off of your receipts and business cards. Do you have any idea how much promotional materials cost? Is it more than it costs to do these jobs for the prices you're quoting? Is it more than it costs to lose customers, or less than that? This is extortion. Call it what you want, Fred. The choices and consequences are entirely up to you. A week later, hello, Expo for Art. This is Fred. I've ordered new receipt books and cards. Can you please stop this bullshit? Sure, bye, Fred. Holy smoke, bye for my most liked post ever. Thanks for the awards, everyone. I didn't even know platinum was a thing. Thanks, guys. Edit 2. Since a lot of people have asked this, no, I didn't let him off the hook until the call stopped, but it was only a week or so after he called me back. He must have paid for expedited shipping. Edit 3. Cross-posted on r/malicious compliance.
Check out my other excellent videos.